Sakia, here I am again. And as stated previously, as a priest in God's church, I am called to speak out against dishonesty and injustice. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. On the 7th of February 2024, Alan Brown, an SNP MP for Kilmarnock and Loudoun, presented a bill, namely the State Pension Age Bill. For 9 years, he said on the floor, this place has debated the matter, hearing harrowing individual stories, with many MPs from across the chamber pledging they would do all they could to help those women. But for 9 years, the government ignored the plight of these women. They hoped the WASPI Women would go away, but they have not. Although unfortunately 40,000 are dying each year without getting any form of compensation, with some 240,000 having already tragically passed away without receiving compensation. For those now trying to make the best of their retirement while facing a cost of living crisis, polling has established that half of WASPI women have struggled to pay essential bills in the past 6 months, and worse, a quarter have struggled to buy food. Let me say that again. Polling has established that half of the WASPI women have struggled to pay essential bills in the past 6 months, and worse, a quarter have struggled to buy food. That is just horrendous. He goes on to say, we know that this is an injustice. Indeed, the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman judged, notice that word judged, as far back as July 2021, that the Department for Work and Pensions was guilty of maladministration due to lack of direct communication. Yet here we are still fighting for compensation. Many of these women, Sakia, as you know, started work at 15 years of age, and you have discarded them, forgetting their immense contribution to this nation. We are here again with your dishonest and morally bankrupt administration. One thing out of power, another in power. In 2022 on BBC Radio Merseyside, you said regarding WASPI Women, and I quote, "This is a real injustice. All your working life you have in mind the date that you can retire. And just as you get towards it, the goalposts are moved and you don't get it. It is a real injustice and we need to do something about it. We have a government that has put its fingers in its ears." In government, you do and say the opposite. You have your fingers now in your ears. Dishonest is the polite term. There are others who will not be as polite. It's not just you though, is it, Sakia? It's Angela Rayner, as the video here demonstrates.
Well, the government failed the women who were born in the 1950s. They stole their pension, that contract, that agreement that they thought they had, and then accelerated it so that those women didn't have the chance to prepare for that. We've said we'll right that injustice, and within the 5 years of the Labour government, we will compensate them for the money that they've lost. This is their money that they've had stolen off them, and it's completely unacceptable. And any government should act responsibly to these women who have looked after their children through that period. They're often looking after elderly relatives now, and they're a part of our society that have felt really unjust by the way they've been treated, and it's absolutely right that we deal with this issue.
It's also Rachel Reeves, who has now deleted this video.
I agree with the current Pensions Minister, who said, unfortunately, the government has not given women enough time to change their plans. These women have already accepted an increase in their state pension age, but they were given time to adjust. Suddenly, these same women are being targeted again, but this time they are not given enough notice as the changes start in just 5 years. I believe the government's decision, she says, is unfair and disproportionately hits women who are now around 56 years old. How right she was. And I hope that she will now stand by those who she spoke up for then, as I and other members will continue to do until we get that justice.
It's Lisa Nandy. It's Chris Bryant. In fact, as Robert Jenrick pointed out with pictorial evidence, your cabinet lied to WASPI Women. One of the people particularly benefiting from her support of the needy WASPI Women is Liz Kendall. The irony there. These women and many others voted for you, for your party, based on your promises. Your promises. And you are therefore now governing under false pretenses. Diane Abbott says you have no feelings for politics. Many, including myself, are questioning whether you have feelings at all. You have leveraged stories for political gain, and then when elected have thrown those promises, along with those that voted for you, under the bus. There is a word for this. It's on the tip of my tongue. Just let me press on and see if I can remember it, if it will come to my remembrance. But here are some of your administration's lies. You've lied about winter fuel, farm tax, WASPI Women, Southport, the Chagos Islands, energy bills, council tax, national insurance, student loans. One would normally congratulate an artist on reaching a Christmas #1. The song In Your Name, Freezing This Christmas, and inspired by your granny harmers, tells us the reality. That's it. That's the word. I've got it. Hypocrite. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. This is an inexorable law of the ruler of the universe, and he is serious about it. If thou afflict them in any way, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath shall wax hot. The standard that you walk by is the standard that you accept. I cannot walk past this. I cannot walk past your ongoing lies. Jesus said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. In 2021, you stood at the dispatch box and challenged the then Prime Minister with 7 Nolan Principles. Let me remind you of them. Selflessness, integrity, objectivity, accountability, openness, honesty, leadership. Not only do you fail in all these principles, but you are damaging the lives of people you lie to and have lied to. God is a protector. He helps the helpless and defends the defenceless. He hears the cry of the oppressed. He avenges injustice. If we do not change course, we are heading for destruction. Injustice cannot continue. If thou afflict them in any way, God speaking, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath shall wax hot. Zacchaeus, we need to turn back from perdition and the track that you have us on. This nation is on a knife edge. We cannot live by injustice any longer. I pray you change course.
It'll be freezing this Christmas while I'm not here.